26th, 2015. I will now call this meeting to order. Linda, are there any deletions or additions to the agenda today?
No, Madam Chair.
We have one set of minutes to approve from the land use hearing of May 5th, 2015. Commissioners, did you have any changes to those minutes?
I don't, but I have a point of personal privilege.
Okay.
Might?
Absolutely.
And it's regarding the county dress code. It seems to me that Mr. Justman's not wearing a lei or a flowered skirt, having come from Hawaii, and I think that kind of violates dress code. Would you like to step on and get dressed in the proper attire, Mr.
I
Justman?
brought one your size because it looked much better on you.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Welcome home. Did you have a good trip?
Yes.
Great.
Learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Lighten us up a little.
Well, thank you. Land use is always a more intense meeting. So if there are no changes, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. We have no continued items today and no withdrawn items. We have no consent items. We have 2 items on individual consideration today. The presentation rules are as follows. Due to the volume of items to be heard, the following restrictions may be applied to help expedite the hearing process. Where practical, presentations by staff and petitioners will be limited to 15 minutes or less. Petitioners are asked to not repeat presentation information that staff has correctly presented. Please address the clarification to the staff's presentation, new information, or new developments to the project, and the staff and agency review comments and recommendations. Responses in favor or in opposition to the proposal will be limited to approximately 3 minutes each. We prefer only new information be presented. A single speaker may be selected on behalf of an organized group. Our first individual item today is 2015-0020 VA, or vacation of right-of-way. The property owner is Mesa County. The zoning is AFT. The request is to vacate a 30-foot wide portion of M.5 Road, also known as Unitah Street, on the first addition to the Loma Town Site plat, unbuilt right-of-way west of 12 Road, and to vacate a 15-foot wide portion of unbuilt right-of-way at the western end of Track 72 of said plat. Access for the adjacent properties will be from a different location determined during the major subdivision process. And we have Christy Barton to present that item today. Thank you, Christy.
Christy Barton, Mesa County Planning Division. I'd like to enter into the record the Mesa County Master Plan, the Mesa County Land Development Code, the project review, file number 2015-0020 VA, and this PowerPoint presentation, which I've labeled Exhibit A. And this information has been read into the record. This is the location and zoning map. It shows the rights of way proposed to be vacated surrounding Track 72 and 71 of the Loma Town sites. This is a aerial photo with the rights of way proposed to be vacated on it. The Canyon subdivision is to the north, and 12 Road is to the east. Future land use, the future land use in this area is RA10 residential / agricultural, 10 acres per dwelling unit. And this is the Loma Town site map from 1908. It's the rights of way were granted as part of this plat, and the Canyon subdivision to the north came in just after 2006. I believe, and the right-of-way was not vacated, but it was not built, and it's the people in the Canyon subdivision would not have to do a replat of their subdivision lots in order to merge that land if it's vacated into their lots. They have a 30-foot total, 15 feet on either side, and the vacated portions will return to the adjacent property owners. And the rights of way that are adjacent to Track 71 and 72 are currently going through a subdivision process. And these, if the right of way is vacated, then they'll be replatted into those lots as part of the subdivision process. The rights of way are unbuilt. They're currently used for drainage ditches, both alignments. And they're located in the same areas as the rights of way. Easements will remain, and the ditches will be maintained by Grand Valley Drainage District, and the Drainage District is actually making up new easements for the owners to sign, and they will record them. Grand Valley Power doesn't have any power lines in the area. This is an aerial photo of the rights-of-way to be vacated. There's no roads, but the northern ditch is open, and the ditch on the western end is piped. And here's a photo of it's the Wheeler drain along the M.5 road alignment. And then this is the Wilcox tile drain in the Canyon subdivision. This has been piped, and this is looking south along the western edge of Tract 72 with the Wheeler tile drain, which is also piped. And this is the map that Grand Valley Drainage District sent us showing the location of the drains. Approval criteria for rights-of-way vacation 3.10.6.A. 1, no landlocked parcels. This has been met. All adjacent properties have access onto a county-maintained road, and Tract 72 will have access once the subdivision is complete. 2, negative impact on adjacent parcels. This has been met. There are no negative impacts identified. Number 3, restrict access to any parcel. This has been met. All adjacent properties have other access points. They don't use these rights-of-way for access. Number 4, reduce quality of services. This can be met. Grand Valley Drainage District is preparing easements for the drainage districts drainage ditches that are in the right-of-ways proposed to be vacated. Number 5, consistency with transportation plan. This has been met. Both sections are actually on the Loma circulation plan, but outside of the Loma rural community plan. Staff review finds these future road locations too close to the roads that were built in the Canyon subdivision, and lots 1 through 4, if these rights-of-way were built, the Canyon subdivision lots would have roads on each side of them. The right-of-way on the west side of Tract 72 would be too close to a future extension of Lutz Crossing, which could connect to M.25 Road at some point in the future, and the Loma circulation plan should be amended to remove these connections. They're located too close to the existing county-maintained roads to be used efficiently. Number 6, affect the historic movement of livestock. This has been met. The rights-of-way are not used for livestock movement. Number 7, create a circuitous route for area residents or the public. This has been met. There are no area residents that use these rights-of-way for access. Number 8, negatively affect utility access. This has been met. The rights-of-way have no utilities, and Grand Valley Drainage District is preparing easement deeds for their facilities. And number 9, eliminate public access to public lands. This has been met. The rights-of-way are not adjacent to public lands and provide no access to public lands in the area. General approval criteria 3.1.17, compliance with the Land Development Code. This can be met with compliance with conditions of approval. B, consistency with review agency comments. This has been met. And C, consistency with IGAs. This has been met. Recommendation is approval of the request for a right-of-way vacation and adoption of the resolution with the vacation effective upon number 1, recording of the Grand Valley Drainage District easements with a copy of the recorded document submitted to the Planning Division. Number 2, recording of the Orth subdivision plat when it is approved. The basis for the recommendation is that it demonstrates compliance with Section 3.10.6.A and Section 3.1.17 of the Land Development Code. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Christy. I saw in the packet that no public comments were received prior to today's hearing, and I want to confirm that continues to be true.
That is correct. I haven't received any.
Okay. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Commissioner McGinnis.
Thank you. So in the packet I saw where I'm trying to find it now, I just had it. Anyway, it regards the irrigation canal.
Yes.
And I noticed that Mark Harris didn't respond.
No, it's a drainage district. It's not a irrigation canal.
Is it the drainage what the problem is?
Yeah, it's a drainage ditch.
Okay, and so who's the proper contact at the
Kevin Williams,
the drainage?
Kevin Williams. And they are working with the owner directly to create the easements for their for their facilities.
Okay, I guess my question, here's what I pulled it out of. The area of the proclaimed right-of-way is primarily used for agriculture fields and maintenance roads for the Kiefer extension of the Grand Valley.
Oh, that's in the next one, the Kreider. The Kreider.
That's in the, I guess I had them in wrong order. I looked at that paragraph. Well, that answers that.
Sorry about that.
I do think that our packets are a little bit messed up.
Sorry.
My notebook's in the wrong order, too.
Okay, so any further questions,
No
Commissioner
questions.
McGinnis, Commissioner Justman?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I don't either. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment on this item? Seeing none, I will bring it back here for board action.
I'd make a motion that project 2015-0020 VA, the Orth vacation of right-of-way, be approved with the conditions that were the staff recommendation with the conditions and adoption of the resolution.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. And just for the record, I want to say that this meets all of the approval criteria with conditions as set forth in our packets.
Now, just one follow-up, and that
Sure.
implies that the easements, or, for example, the drainage district, will be executed.
Yes, that's one of the conditions of approval.
All right, thank you.
And does that motion include the adoption of the resolution?
Yes, I think Commissioner Justman had included that in his motion
I said with the conditions recommended by staff.
and the resolution.
Pardon?
And the resolution, you
Yes,
did say
yes.
that. Yes.
Approval with conditions and adoption of resolution is what I said, I believe.
Yep. Thank you. I agree. Okay. All right. So moving on to our next item, 2015-0036 VA, the Kreider vacation of right-of-way. The property owner is Mesa County. The adjacent property owners are Mel Kreider, Carol Kreider, and Chelsea Manahan, grantee beneficiary. Perry H. Kreider, grantee beneficiary. Doug Jones, and Dennis and Martha Hardrick. The location is 1601 14 Road, 1603 14 Road, 1609 14 Road, and 1376 0.5 Road in Loma. The zoning is AFT. This is a request to vacate a 60-foot wide P Road proclaimed right-of-way from 14 Road West to the 13.5 Road alignment. And we have, again, Christy Barton to present this item. Thank you, Christy.
Christy Barton, Mesa County Planning Division. I'd like to enter into the record the Mesa County Master Plan, the Mesa County Land Development Code, the project review, file number 2015-0036 VA, and this PowerPoint presentation, which I've labeled Exhibit A. And this information has been entered into the record. The location and zoning map is shown on the screen, and it is all zoned AFT in the 2,500 or 5,280-foot public notification area. This right-of-way was granted in 1890 and 1892 as proclaimed right-of-way, 60 feet in width. The proclaimed rights-of-way were declared public highways on section lines, which are the 1-mile intervals for future roads in Mesa County. And it was recorded in 1892 and then re-recorded, a copy of the original book from the County Commissioner's resolution in 1957, and that is in your packets. These rights-of-way are unbuilt. The future roads are not shown on the transportation plan on this alignment. The area of the proclaimed right-of-way is primarily used for agricultural fields and a maintenance road for the Kiefer extension of the Grand Valley Canal. A portion of the right-of-way goes through the Kreider's house and outbuilding. Part of the canal also appears to be located on the proclaimed right-of-way. The Kreiders have obtained signatures from the adjacent property owners for this application, and the vacated portion of rights-of-way will return to the adjacent property owners. Petitioners will need to record new deeds reflecting their portion of the vacated area as incorporated into their respective properties, and these can be recorded after the, if and when the right-of-way vacation is approved. This is an aerial photo with the proclaimed right-of-way on there, and there's a sketch from the surveyor at the bottom showing the surveyed right-of-way to be vacated and where it shows up on the aerial photo. 14 Road and P Road have sort of odd alignments. It goes around the Kiefer extension of the canal, and also there's a wash there. So the county has worked to get those rights-of-way vacated and the new ones dedicated and roads built on there. So it's much more accurate than the 1 mile square section. And this is a picture of the vacated rights-of-way for 14 and P Road, which occurred in the 80s. 14 Road was in 2004, and then it was redeeded, shown by the green. Buildings in the proclaimed right-of-way are shown in yellow on this property, on this map, and the blue shows the proclaimed right-of-way. This is a picture of the Kreider driveway looking west from 14 Road. So the right-of-way would encompass the shed that you can see, the trees, and a portion of the house. And then this is the curve that's in the canal. That's also, a portion of this appears to be in the right-of-way, the proclaimed right-of-way. And then looking back towards the east and 14 Road, at the crossing of the canal with 14 Road and the Kreider's property. And then this is looking west from the edge of the Kreider's house and agricultural area, and the proclaimed right-of-way is actually on the right side of this, through the fields. And this is an ownership map. There's been a number of simple land divisions, property line adjustments, and physical and legal. So I had to get myself in order here and figure out exactly where the property lines were. And this is a map showing, it's one of the property line adjustments, but it shows the portion of the canal, or it's actually an access easement for the Jones property. They're in interior parcels, and it does go through the proclaimed right-of-way. Approval criteria 3.10.6.A. Number 1, no landlocked parcels. This has been met. The Kreider's access from 14 Road, the Hardrick's access from 0.5 Road, and Doug Jones with the interior parcel has a 35-foot wide access easement that's on the property line adjustment for the Kreider's. And Doug Jones also has a northern property, a northern 40 acres, that has an access easement from what is now a simple land division, the Roberts Bernal Simple Land Division. Approval criteria number 2, negative impact on adjacent properties. This has been met. All adjacent properties have access onto public roads or access easements. Number 3, restrict access to any parcel. This has been met. The right-of-way is not built, does not provide any access. Number 4, reduce quality of services. This has been met. Utility easements exist on the properties and not in the right-of-way. Number 5, consistency with the transportation plan. This has been met. The right-of-way proposed to be vacated does not exist on the Grand Valley Circulation Plan rural element. The future road alignments in the area are on the P.5 and 13 3/4 road alignments. Number 6, affect the historic movement of livestock. This has been met. The right-of-way is not used for cattle movement and has no known historic livestock movement. Number 7, create a circuitous route for area residents or the public. This has been met. This right-of-way is not built and not used for access for area residents. Number 8, negatively affect utility access. This has been met. Utilities are not located in this proclaimed right-of-way. Doug Jones has a utility easement from the west through the Saddle Ridge Road subdivision. And number 9, eliminate public access to public lands. This has been met. The right-of-way proposed to be vacated is not located adjacent to public lands. General approval criteria 3.1.17. A, compliance with the Land Development Code. This can be met with recording of deeds that incorporates the vacated portion of the right-of-way into the parcels. B, consistency with review agencies. We didn't receive any negative review agency comments. This has been met. And C, consistency with IGAs. This has been met. Recommendation is approval of the request for a right-of-way vacation with the vacation effective upon recording of deeds for the subject parcels incorporating the portion of the vacated right-of-way into the respective properties. The basis for this recommendation is that the petition demonstrates compliance with Section 3.10.6.a and Section 3.1.17 of the Land Development Code. And this concludes my presentation.
Are there any questions, Commissioners, for Christie? Commissioner Justman.
On your agencies that had no comment, Mark Harris with the Grand Valley Water Users is not the correct company. It should be Phil Bertrand from Grand Valley Irrigation.
You know, actually, this area is Grand Valley water users, I'm pretty sure. It's out at 14 and P?
No. It's the
Okay.
Kiefer, the Kiefer extension is part of
Okay.
the Grand Valley is Grand Valley Irrigation, not the Grand Valley Water Users.
Mel Kreider's here. I'm sorry if
Isn't
I...
that right, Mel? Your water, that Grand Valley, the Kiefer extension is part of the Grand Valley Irrigation Company, not the Grand Valley Water Users.
Mr. Kreider, can you come to that podium, please, and answer Commissioner Justman's question on the record? Thank you. Please just introduce yourself for the record.
I am Mel Kreider, owner of the 1601 property there, and I think it's a 1603 property. To answer John Justman's question, that canal that you see written there is the Kiefer extension of the Grand Valley Irrigators Company. And my field that I have above it is watered by the Grand Valley Water Users Association. And my tailwater goes into the Grand Valley Irrigators Canal there of the Kiefer extension.
I mean, I can't believe Grand Valley Irrigation would object, but it's their canal, not the water users.
I should have sent it to them both.
Okay. Maybe they just didn't even respond.
You know, a lot of times they don't.
Okay.
So...
Okay, so I'm going to stop this
I didn't
right
want to get
there.
it done and then have somebody complain down the road that...
Hold on
Yeah,
one
wrong
second.
name here.
So, County Attorney Coleman, I personally am not comfortable if we haven't given the appropriate notice to the agencies that need to review to continue this item today. What is your opinion?
So did I hear you say you sent it and they just didn't respond, or you just didn't provide them?
I didn't send it to the Grand Valley Irrigation.
Okay. And the canal that we're discussing, is it within the right-of-way of the...
Yes.
Okay, so that's why they're... Yeah, I mean, I think you've probably got defective notice. So we probably need to
Is there
continue
such a thing that they could contact Grand Valley Irrigation and, I mean, I don't mean right now, but...
Yeah, I would continue it to a date certain and provide notice with the opportunity for them to reply to the notice, and then, you know, obviously if they say that they don't have any comments, then you can proceed. Or if they don't respond, you can proceed, but I do think you need to provide proper notice.
No.
Commissioner McGinnis.
I agree with that, and I don't see a problem with this now, but in the future, 20 years from now or something, if this thing came up and somebody alleged that, it's just best to make it a clean record. And again, I don't think there's going to be an objection, but frankly, when I went through both applications, as you know from my previous question, that's the paragraph that stood out. I wanted to make darn sure that, that right. So, Commissioner Justman, thanks for bringing that up. And
I'm not trying to hold up the project whatsoever, but I think we need to make sure we get it correctly the first time,
I agree.
rather than...
Yeah, and I apologize.
And it may
for
never
the
come
error.
up, who knows, but
So,
I
Chris.
know that Kiefer extension is part of the Grand Valley Irrigation System.
Thank you, Commissioner Justman. Christy and or Linda, when is our next land use hearing?
June 9th.
Can we notice it in time for June 9th?
Well, we're supposed to have a 15-day review agency notice. We could,
So what is the next, let's follow our process precisely. What is our next land use hearing then?
on June 23rd, but it's rather full. Let me check the notice requirements really quick.
you know, even if it's full-ended, this isn't going to I can't envision that there would be an objection, and
No, I can't.
we
I
ought to be
don't-
able to get this up and done in 5 minutes, so.
And actually, I would recommend that we potentially ask whatever questions we have today and place it on the consent agenda for the 23rd, and that would speed it along.
That's a good idea.
I think we could do the 9th. We don't have a requirement for review agency comment. It's only for your hearing, and if you continue it to a date certain, then we don't have that 15-day requirement anymore. So we could go to June 9th if you want.
Okay. I do still suggest, though, that we ask whatever questions Mr. Kreider and whomever else is here. Let's continue to feel comfortable with this item and then place it on the consent agenda for the 9th, is my recommendation, if there's no objections, Commissioners.
No objection.
Okay. Okay, so going back, are there any, I have no questions. Commissioner Justman, do you have any further questions?
No, I just want to point out to the applicant, I'm not trying to stop this by any means. I just want to make sure that we have our paperwork, the verbiage in there done correctly.
No, and we appreciate that because that would put the county in a bad situation potentially down the line, so thank you. Commissioner McGinnis, any further questions?
Only a thank you to Commissioner Justman. That institutional knowledge pays off. Thank you.
Okay.
Need a motion to continue it?
Well, I'm going to see if the applicant, so they don't have to come back on the 9th unless they want to. Would the applicant like to say anything about this item? Okay, that's a no from the audience. Okay, is there anybody else in the audience that would like to make any further comments on this application? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to continue to our June 9th land use hearing on the consent agenda.
I would make a motion that we continue project 2015-0036 VA to Kreider vacation of right-of-way till June 9th.
Is there a second?
Second.
And all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. And again, I recommend that be on consent so that we don't have to discuss that item any further. Mr. Kreider, you're more than welcome to attend the hearing on June 9th. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to go through. Okay, thank you. We have no briefing items today, no road petitions. Is there any unscheduled business to come before this board today? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.